Hi, Anson Garcia here, and I'm going to be doing a run-through of the Verizon EBC Sparkboard demo that we've put together. This is a little rough draft, so excuse it if it's a little slow. But first, let me orientate you. This is going to be the Sparkboard, or there will be a Sparkboard like this in the EBC. There will also be an iPhone. You see that iPhone on your screen. You see the Spark app on your screen. The iPad is going to represent the remote user. So the way this thing works is you have Sparkboard, iPhone with Spark app, local in the room, and you have a remote user with an iPad that's going to come in remotely and make sure that this particular user is not local, not inside the room or anything like that. Make sure you choose a user that's outside the room. And that would be me for this particular demo, and later on probably going to be one of the EBC guys. Okay, so that's the, let me set the stage a little bit. There'll be a Spark board, and the skit is there's a local design team. We're going to add some breadboards and some design changes to a farm table. All right, so he's going to get with the design team is within the room where the Sparkboard is, and the design team project manager has his iPhone with his Spark app, walks in, talks to the team real quick, and is going to start the meeting. He starts the meeting by grabbing his Spark or opening his Spark app. He goes into the team room, which is the Verizon EBC Demo team, lower left hand corner. That's what I'm going in. You'll see that on your screen. You'll see that there's only one space there. That's a general space. I'm going to go into that space. Once I'm into that space, you see at the upper right hand corner, there's those three ellipses there. And I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Now this is where my menu or info is, and I have my message call. You guys are probably familiar with this. One thing you're not familiar with is when I'm in proximity of a Sparkboard, look down at the bottom and you'll see let's wake this guy up. There he is. You'll see at the bottom, open on Sparkboard. So I'm in proximity. The Sparkboard is awake, and now I can open on Sparkboard. What I'm doing is kind of gluing this space right onto this Sparkboard. At this point, I really don't need my iPhone anymore. I can set that in my pocket. I'll set it aside for now. Once that's set aside, one of the things I want to do is, as a project manager for the design team, once you're in the room, I want to make sure that the people in this room include my third-party manufacturing designers, okay, because I'm going to be talking to them later on. And what this person represents, in my case right here, is Jack Sparrow, and Jack Sparrow is the iPad you see on your screen, so he's the remote user. And I just want to show people that. I'm going to click on my home button again. I want to go to my files. I've had some architectural drawings that I've been working on. I've uploaded them to the space, and I'm going to discuss those with the team internally right here that's local. So I want to say, look, this is what I've been thinking of. I've been thinking of this one particular farm table that we have, and I really want to do some breadboards maybe at the end. I think that's going to lend itself to the rigidity of the end table, and also kind of bring in some higher class clientele. And I also want to do some runners. So we've had runners, and we've had some problems with some warp boards, since this is a farm table and we use kind of construction grade lumber. And although we're planing and joining, we're still having some complaints of some bending of wood and warping of wood, so we want to put some runners right across here. All right, and so I can pinch and zoom. I can do all that kind of cool stuff. Now I want to go back. I can click on there, go back to all files, and what I want to do at this point, I've had a PowerPoint presentation that really talked about the features that we were going to do, and the option of the breadboard and the runners. And we at one point we just discussed this. Here are my slides on this particular PowerPoint, and on slide 3 here you can see I can go very easily to slide 3. We had kind of talked about the breadboards and the runners, and we kind of just left it as an option. We left it open and we really didn't close it, so I want to go back to that, and that's why I went back to, we weren't real sure about the warping. Now we definitely know that a couple of prototype farm tables sitting in the sun, go ahead and they are susceptible to warping. So I just wanted to show you that we can do a slideshow as well here, and we can pick off all the slides or go to a particular slide. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to hit the screen there. All files is right here in the lower left. I know you can't read the screen very well, and that's not really important right now. I'm going to go back to the home button, and let me just call out, I didn't call out at first, but I know it's very hard to see this, but this green button right here says call underneath. This purple button says whiteboard underneath. This green button says people. This yellow button says files, and this blue button says share screen. We also have close this space right down here. Close this space would be, you know, getting this space off that I pasted on there, off and back on my iPhone. Okay. So we went to files. We looked at a couple architectural drawings. Now what I want to do, again, I'm talking only to the local folks here. I want to go to my whiteboard and I want to bring up, you know, we're bringing up this whiteboard right here. And we'll have some nice whiteboards in here when you actually do the demo. And we'll have maybe a table here. And in this table, I'm thinking of doing some maybe, you know, 2x4 breadboards over here on the side. And I think, you know, maybe a 1x4 runner is going to be okay alongside. So I'm going to discuss that with the team. We're going to agree on that. After that, I'm going to go back to my home button and say, hey, let's call manufacturing up. They're waiting for our call. We're going to discuss some design changes. We've decided the design changes here amongst ourselves. Let's bring those folks up. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to call. Okay, once I push that green button call, it's going to come over here again and make sure that I want to call. So big green button again. When I push call, you're going to see on the iPad, Jack Sparrow, which is part of this space, is going to get a call to join. So let's go ahead and do that. And you see on his iPad, he gets to join. All right, he's going to go ahead and join. I'm going to just stay off screen for just a second. You'll see video come up here. Now we can discuss. Jack Sparrow can discuss with the local team that's in front of the Sparkboard, the project manager and the design team about the changes, and then of course the manufacturing team member, Jack Sparrow, is going to want to see what exactly they're talking about and things like that. So what's going to happen here is at this point we're going to go back to home. The project manager inside the Spark room, inside the EBC room with the Sparkboard, going to go back to home. He's going to go to whiteboard. He's going to bring up that whiteboard that they just decided on. Here's the whiteboard. Now at this point, nothing's being shared. You can see on the iPad, nothing's being shared yet. But once he comes down here on the lower right-hand side, it says share live. I know you can't see that in the video, but it says share live right here. I'm going to push that on the Sparkboard. That's going to display the live sharing of this whiteboard. Okay, now once that comes up, the design project manager in front of the Sparkboard, in front of the design team there locally, could say, you know, this is what I'm kind of talking about, and we were looking at 2x4s for the breadboards, and then the 1x4s for the runners, and that's what we want to go with. And he can discuss that with the third-party manufacturer, Jack Sparrow, and Jack Sparrow maybe says, well, you know, that sounds good for the length of this table. I think maybe we need to do something different. Let me show you what I'm thinking about. Now, what's going to happen on the iPad, now, go ahead and point your attention to the iPad. Jack Sparrow is going to just drag that video over, because there's a little button underneath there we need to get to. That button is that little pen right there. So Jack Sparrow can't participate in this collaborative drawing yet until he pushes that. So once he pushes that button, I'm going to push that button in the upper left hand corner. You're going to see that kind of refresh. I'm going to grab a little capacitive touch pen here, because I like writing with a pen instead. And then now Jack can go ahead and say, you know, I do like that, but you know, I'm going to choose green. I really think maybe we should go a little bit bigger with these. Let's go with 2x6s. That's going to be a little bit more rigid at the end. And then as far as these runners go, I'd really like to go with, I really think you should go to a 2x4s instead of 1x4s. That'll give it that rigidity for the longer tables that we've been making. And what do you guys think about that? I think that's a better idea. Back to the Spark guys, they can say, yep, I think that's a great idea. Jack Sparrow, let's go ahead and make that happen. So either one can stop sharing live. I'll go ahead and just do that maybe here. I'll do that here. We'll go back to the video portion. Okay, so you see what I did is just stop sharing live. I went back to the video here, and then on the iPad, the remote user, Jack, all he needs to do, his focus now is off the whiteboard, and now he sees video there, and all he needs to do is push that video, and that video would come back up. They could discuss the cost of this manufacturing change and design change, and then at the end of the call, they could you just tap the screen, hang up, and you're done. Okay, now at this point, you can go ahead and close this space. Right here at the bottom, it says close this space. Now you're back on the iPhone. The iPad will stay in the call, waiting for other people to join, but Jack Sparrow is going to go ahead and disconnect as well. Okay, that's kind of the end. There's an option here at the very end. If Jack goes into this space, let's say he's going to go back in, so I'm point your eyes to the iPad now. He's going to go back in this space. We're going to pull up the 3 ellipses at the top right. We're going to go ahead and go to whiteboards. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up right here. Now I know we just discussed this. I'm the manufacturer. I just discussed this. I know other people on my team and Jack Sparrow's team are in this space as well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower right hand, I'm going to post this particular, and I'm going to put a message on it and just say, you know, I could do an @ symbol, you know, maybe I want to do @ symbol something so someone will get notified if they have their notifications turned off. So I can do an @ mention here or something like that. And I'll just do, you know, design team, please approve updates. Okay, and I can do something simple like that. And I'll go ahead and send. And then you can see that within the message content there, we have the new whiteboard posted, and I have a comment on that whiteboard that I need everybody on my design team I should have said, you know, manufacturing design team or something like that. Again, I could have put an @ symbol or something like that, but to go ahead and approve that. And that's really it. That's the short version of the demo. Now, without me doing this and just running through it, should take more. I've done it in less than 5 minutes without all the instruction around it. So hopefully that's been helpful to you, and thanks for watching.